Well, one, we had a friend who used this process. He got his family to buy everything through his cashback account, and in 13 months he saved £7,000.
Ben, thank you so much for coming in to us today. I wasn't going to put you on the spot, but I am. You broke your finger
Yeah,
playing, I'm going to say rugby,
I wish.
but it wasn't.
Have you
It
seen
was
the size
dodgeball.
of me?
It was dodgeball.
It was.
You broke your finger playing dodgeball.
Yeah, it was a pretty big hit, and well, as you meant to either dodge it or catch it, I went to catch, and it just hit the end of my finger, and the bone popped out.
Playing
And,
with the Hulk or something?
yeah, I mean, he was good. He was pretty
The
good.
bone
But
popped out.
the bone
That's
literally just
gross.
popped out and just drooped.
So how long have you had is that a metal cast on
I
it, is
would.
it?
No, I even had to get a custom-made splint for it. It was so bad.
Because this never happens.
Yeah, no, exactly. The what do you call them? The radiographer. She nearly fainted when she saw it. It was pretty bad. So
Was that bad?
yeah,
I've
pretty
never
bad.
ever gone
We did.
paintballing.
The good thing is we did actually win the league,
Dodgeball.
even without me. That was kind of like the big sort of moment.
Maybe-
Like kind
maybe it was
of
done
went
on
out with a
purpose.
bang, basically.
So
yeah.
when you were being stretchered
Yeah.
off the dodgeball
Yeah.
court.
Make sure you win for us, guys. Yeah.
Anyway, look, we didn't have you on just to talk about dodgeball and your broken finger.
Even though it's hilarious.
It is a good story though, right? Don't play dodgeball, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
We want to talk about obviously Homewards, right, which is your company, because when it comes to everyone wanting to get on the property ladder, it's not easy. Things are getting more expensive, which adds to the frustration of it all, right? But the main thing is building up your deposit, right? Because you need 10%, 15%, whatever it is you're buying. So, right, you've come up with something that's going to help with that.
So yeah, so Homewards is about boosting the home deposits for first-time buyers effortlessly, and we do that by harnessing latent financial value. So we're looking at starting with a kind of a cashback service. So every time you or your family makes a purchase online and eventually in store, some of that money will get transferred directly into a lifetime ISA or the Help to Buy ISA, which is like the new government savings schemes, where they give you a 25% boost on anything that you put in there. And the reason for that is we kind of, well, one, we had a friend who used this process. He got his family to buy everything through his cashback account. And in 13 months, he saved £7,000.
I saw that. You sent
Yeah,
that
it's
over,
an incredible story. So we were like, well, if we can kind of systemize that and make it, much nicer user experience, and of course, you're not having to log into your son or daughter's account.
How big
they
was his
get
family?
yeah, the Irish family. So pretty big, yeah.
15 or
So
18 of them.
so we want to kind of like systemize that process, and we recognise, even if each person was able to make a few £100s a year, that would still be really good, because lots of people don't have savings. It's something like 50% of 22 to 29-year-olds have no savings, and those that do, they only have around, on average, £1,600. So how can we kind of help these people out without having to really change their behaviours? And it's money that they didn't have in the first place. It was kind of like a brilliant system.
Most of first-time buyers are having to move home. Like, so you've got like 30-year-olds, 50-year-olds, no, I won't say 50-year-olds, 30-year-olds,
Well, you'd be
35,
surprised,
40-year-olds, are moving home with their parents so as they can save for a deposit.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone kind of thinks, well, that's really bad for the person who's having to move back in with their parents, but your parents kind of want to live their own independent lives as well. So, they, well,
I don't know, there's a few mothers out there. There's a few mothers out there that want their kids back. So they're opening the door.
That's why I'm in London. But yeah, so it's really about getting people onto the ladder quicker and kind of thinking about it in a different way. There's a lot of really interesting fintech out there at the moment. A lot of the new challenger banks doing some really cool stuff, and people are really buying into that. But the way we think about it is those guys kind of thinking about the horizontal, so they're really like tackling the whole sort of banking issue. But then you've got all these verticals coming down from that. Think about it like the tentacles. It's the way I like to think about it is, home buying is a huge process, and you can't just say this is like a savings pot for your home. That is such a complicated and a huge amount that you need to save for a deposit. It needs to be smarter, and we call that kind of jobs to be done. And so the job to be done that we're doing is helping people buy their first home.
So in really practical terms, I get an insurance policy for my car. How does the process work of me getting cash back? Or if my parents get a home insurance, how do they link that with my account in really practical terms?
So how it will work is you'll have either we want to have like a Chrome extension, or when you go into the insurance company, it will just say click here, and £30 will go towards your son or daughter's home deposit, and they just click through that, make sure they go through the link, and if we were able to track that, then you'll get £30 back it's a few months later maybe, and that was another element to it. Cashback can take a while for the money to come through.
Yeah.
So as long as you're not really thinking about it and it is saving for your future, it doesn't really matter if it takes a few months to come through. It's about like really making a big difference to how much is in that.
Is it difficult in the way that, a lot of people start something and then never finish it, right? Because they can lose interest, like as we were saying, that it could be quite small, right? So you've all the best intentions in the world going, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to save money here, I'm going to get, money back and rewards back. But it's so minuscule that after a while, you go, here, what's the point in this? It's getting me nowhere. So you're trying to address this in a way that it's obviously going to be a much larger amount, right? So are you having like difficulty, or the companies that you team up with to purchase through, right? They give back rewards, or they are welcoming you with open arms when it comes to this?
So we've kind of done a smarter route, I suppose, and we've been fortunate enough to partner with a company who will give us access to over 4,000 retailers from day one. So there's going to be something for everyone, and that was another element. There's some really cool sort of cashback apps out there, but they have a sort of limited number of retailers, and we recognise, if we've got the tiers of the first-time buyer, the parents, and maybe the grandparents, some shops will apply to those different generations and not to the others. So we really need to have as many retailers on board from day one, and that's been our real sort of focus.
It's definitely helping solve a serious problem. I seen a tweet. I must see, can we pull up on the screen? But there was a tweet that was a couple of weeks ago. It was a thread, right? So there was people talking about their situation and their job versus their parents, right? So there was a guy saying, I'm a data analyst, or I'm a coder, or whatever it might be. I'm renting in London and I have X amount of savings and I'm so far away from getting a mortgage. And then their father might have had a lower paying job, whatever it might be. The mother didn't work and stayed at home. It would have been 70s, 80s, that's the way it was. And then, and had like a 3 or 4 bedroom house. So had a house, had a lower paying job, had kids, had all this sort of stuff, but had a house and had somewhere to call their own, where their sons or daughters might have way more money, but still can't afford to get in the property ladder.
Well, if you think of like even like mortgages, right? I'm not sure what it is in the UK, but I know in Ireland you're allowed 3.5 times your salary.
It's like 4 here, 4.5.
Oh, even 4 times here, right? The average house, so like the average house, right? And then the average salary is equivalent to something like 9.5 times the average salary.
It's nothing.
So the rest in London, it's like as much as 14 in some places.
Yeah,
14 times the average salary. Yeah,
it's crazy at the moment.
But I mean, and this is what we're kind of seeing, a shift in the sort of mortgage market at the moment. Barclays, they've got their Springboard mortgage, where they'll give you 100% of the property value, 100% mortgage with 10% or something of that guaranteed against parent savings. And Lloyds has also released one. So there's going to be probably a big change in the sorts of mortgages which are offered, because it stems back to people are asset rich and cash poor. I was reading a really interesting article the other day about, there was a lady in Mayfair who had a £4 million flat, and she couldn't afford to pay for the heating, so had to take an equity release, basically just take out a large loan. And just think it's ludicrous, isn't it? How can you have a £4 million property and not be able to pay a few £100s for the heating? And that's the case for, obviously not as extreme as that, but there will be a lot of parents and grandparents who have properties, but they need the savings for their future and can't necessarily pass that on to their kids. So we're just trying to think.
And nor should they even. Like, why should they have to pass on savings to kids?
No, exactly. And I suppose that's really where we boiled down the whole process, and we've really gone through this quite a lot. And the cashback is just one element of what we're looking to do. It's really where we want to start, because we see it as a really good start, a really good entry point into the market. You
need to start somewhere.
But if you just think about it, if you say, I'm going to start saving for a home today, where on earth do you start? There's so many different kind of savings accounts and sort of investment products. When am I ready for a mortgage? Where should I look to buy? There's so many elements to it. And so, this kind of cashback piece, we feel is like a really good place to begin and get people talking about, I'm getting all this free money and my parents are helping me out. For example, my parents the other day, they were booking a hotel for the weekend, and I made sure I got them to buy it through my cashback account. On a £150 purchase, I got 10% back, which is £15. Put that into a lifetime ISA and you get an extra 25% on that. So it's nearly £20, which it didn't cost them anything.
Anyway.
And it's just free money. So
for you,
for me,
Your parents got nothing.
But so we're just trying to make that easier for everyone.
So, what's the next step for the business, right? So, is there any way that it can be made even simpler on the next step? Because obviously, if you didn't know your parents are booking that, well, you own the business, so I'm sure they'd say to you anyway. But if your parents were booking a hotel, they didn't know, you wouldn't have got that money. Is there any way that can be made that bit simpler, that you can go aunties, uncles, right, and hit up everybody for cash,
you can get all
basically?
your friends on board if you wanted to. So that's one of the other reasons why we're kind of starting with this online piece. We recognise, as you kind of go up the generations, it's probably less sort of mobile device orientated. So for when we release the product, hopefully in the end of this year, we want to make sure that everyone has access to the product.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was mobile focused, you probably would not have the grandparents or fewer grandparents and parents, maybe fewer on that as well. So we'll be beginning with online cashback, but then we'll be looking at more mobile cashback. So there's like really good products out there which can give a really nice mobile experience, and then also in-store cashback. So there's another partner which we're looking to work with who can actually give you as much as 50% back on your food and drinks orders. So, it'll pop up in London, it will say, hey, go check out whatever restaurant this might be, and you just tap with the card and you'll get 50% back straight away. But we'll direct that straight into the savings account. So they're expanding themselves at the moment as well.
Yeah.
So they've been focused in London and now they're looking to expand throughout the UK. But by the time that we're ready to introduce those into the system, they'll have thousands of retailers on there as well. So we'll have the online and offline piece for it. So if you want to use both or one or the other, it's entirely up to you.
Absolutely. Well, the more on, the better.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming in. We can't wait to check out the product.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Thank
we're
you
going to
so
let
much,
you
guys.
get back to dodgeball,
Yeah.
or not dodging the ball by the looks of it.
No.
Thanks so much for
Thanks
coming
a
in.
million.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot. Cheers,
Cheers.
guys.